What? What's up? Actually, I'm not really afraid to show my face. I mean, it is what it is. What's up? But damn, I lost my train of thought. I don't know, like I got disconnected. But yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Like I said, there's a lot of people out here. But yeah, man, there's a lot of people here that are. I don't know, man. Like I said, the crazy thing that kind of like sickens me is like the foreigners who are praising China. You know, it's almost like propaganda, and this is how I see it. Just this guy. Um, Let me see if I can pull up the video. I have it. Let me pause this. Okay, so there's this video of this guy. Okay, so he's pretty, he's kind of pretty famous on Douyin, which is pretty much TikTok. Okay, he's a foreigner and he's married to a Chinese girl, got a Chinese wife. Okay, so he's pretty much praising China on the way that they handle the situation, which is crazy because a lot of the officials they just kind of disappeared to Qinghai, which is an island here in China, to discuss how to deal with the whole outbreak. Now, like I said, there's this video of a Chinese guy from Wuhan. Everything is they have subtitles, and he's pretty much begging for the Chinese people who are living overseas to help. And he's not telling them to send any money. He's just saying that you have the power to make this go mainstream because where you living, you're not, you're not blocked by the Great Firewall of China, and your news and your media isn't filtered, so you have the options to say something. You know, what I'm worried about is the drug problem in the states that lower the immune system and then being more effective from the virus. It's the drug problem. Okay, first of all, I don't know how old you are, but okay, I was born in like the late 80s, 87, okay? And actually I was still in Russia at that time. Like I wasn't adopted. I got adopted when I was 10. Oh, you're 33, so we're about the same age. Okay, I was born in 87. Okay, so when the whole like crack epidemic and the AIDS virus was just rampant in US, you see how many people lost their lives, right? So I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. You combine the two, and I mean, if this shit does get worse, like I'm not trying to like fear monger anybody or anything like this, but if you mix the two, it's always not a good thing. Um, I mean, I'm sure you understand, right? So we had the crack epidemic around the same time the whole AIDS crisis and HIVs or whatever was pretty much tearing U.S. citizens, you know, messing up their lives. The people addicted to crack who had HIV, and it's just multiplied the fatality rate of people. They was addicted and they were living with a virus, and it was on the in these cities. I think it like started in Detroit or something like that. So it started like in these in these cities where the general public uh, were predominantly there were black folks. Okay, like I said, man, like I have my own views and opinions on that as well. Like I mean, the government is a shady bunch of people. It's the people at the top. who always make all these rules and guidelines, but when they break the rules, none of them get punished for it, and they just feed off, you know, ah man, it's crazy. So the thing is, in China, I'm sure you probably already know, you know, the Chinese people, it's like almost unheard of them speaking out against their government. Okay, but now people are starting to do that. And like I said, China being a very like nationalistic place is almost like it's pretty much like forbidden to speak about the governing officials. But like I said, there was this video of this man from Wuhan. It's in subtitles. I believe it's like a little over than 10 minutes long, and he's pretty much oh, China had, yeah, yeah. I remember that the whole opium crisis. Actually, I don't remember that, but I remember reading about it. But so there was this guy from Wuhan, and pretty much he's reaching out to, his Chinese friends, not friends, but like in general, like the Chinese people who are living overseas, and he's telling them like, hey, get online and say something. Just because you live in overseas, it doesn't like it doesn't mean that doesn't affect you, because these are your people. You know, he's just saying them like to say something. And a lot of people there, like I said, the Chinese people at a very young age, they are taught not to go against, the rules of, they're told not to go against the government, and if they do, they will severely be punished for it. So a lot of them, they're afraid, and the guy goes to describe like, look, we're powerless, we're flesh and blood, and if you speak against it, they will send full metal jackets and tanks, and this is how they will fight us. So I mean, he goes to say like Chinese people are not stupid and they're not brainwashed, but pretty much they're just hopeless because they've been living like this for generations and generations. Yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much what it is. I mean, I came here almost 5 years ago after I left like the military. I went back to the States for a little bit. Then I was like, man, fuck that. I just want to get out of here. And I came to Shenzhen, which is pretty much like the Silicon Valley of, the East, or, pretty much China's Silicon Valley. Okay. And I came there and I was like, man, this city is beautiful. It was like developing right before my own eyes, like skyscrapers. And, it's crazy. A lot of the people that are living there were foreigners, and there was a lot of tech companies, and it was a rich city. It was very, very rich, and it still is to this day. It's constantly, evolving. And I was like, man, I loved it. But then I started, but during that time, I just went out a lot and party with my friends. But recently, in the past few years, maybe 2 years, I'd say, I just became kind of observant, and trying to figure out like why are these people like that? And I'm not trying to like generalize, the population, because I do have Chinese friends who are very well educated and spoken, and they know what's going on. But they would also agree with the guy. They can't do anything, you know. Um, but anyway, from what I was saying, being a communist, I feel like I had more freedom here, and the way of life was just convenient, more convenient than it was in U.S. And I experienced that when I was stationed in Korea. I was in Korea for about like 7 years, and then I got out of the army and stayed as a civilian there. But I was like, man, this is awesome, you know. But I just like started paying attention more, and just wondering why are people like why are these people like this, and it's the whole face culture society. Like I said, making a Chinese person lose face is like the ultimate sin. Now making the whole country lose face. So, uh, yeah, that's the things that are instilled in their brain, and you can't even argue. You can't argue with Chinese people because I mean, I don't know. To me, it's pointless. So would you say Shigan? I mean Shenzhen. I'm in Guangzhou, bro. I'm in Guangzhou. Uh, it's like one of the biggest cities here. Shingin. What is Shingin? Hold on, let me check something real quick. Um, what the hell is Shingin? You mean Shenzhen? Shenzhen? Oh, Shenzhen. Actually, I lived in Shenzhen for 2 years, and I got friends over there right now. Southern Deep. What's going on? Yeah, okay. So I lived in Shenzhen for 2 years. I lived in Foshan for 2 years, and I've been in Guangzhou for 2 years. So that's 6 years in total, and I've been in Guangdong. I don't know. Like I have friends right now. Like I can send a message easily, and you know, I mean, it's advised for people to stay inside and not to go socialize because it is like an airborne virus. You can easily spread it just by talking or you know particles flying out of your mouth if you're infected or whatever. So they're just telling people like pretty much to stay home. It's crazy. You're kind of isolating yourself and quarantining your own self at home. I mean, you can go out. You definitely can go out, buy food or whatever, but it's just advice for people not to do so. Um, Also, the Chinese holiday is has been extended for like what 1 day, which is kind of pathetic. Um, so everyone is going to be coming back within maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. Okay, the most. So here goes the second part of millions, billions of people migrating. Okay, domestically, Chinese people migrating domestically and Chinese people migrating internationally. So those 5 million people that fled Wuhan, like I don't know if they have plans on coming back. I mean, I guess pretty much anybody in their right mind wouldn't go back, but people also have jobs and shit to do. So um, remember the whole 15-day incubation period. Now there are doctors that are predicting that within a week the peak of this virus is going to increase dramatically because people are going to start coming back to their hometowns and not necessarily like Wuhan, but people from all over China and Chinese people that are abroad, they're going to start coming back to China. And like I said, that's the crazy. Yeah, exactly. The timing is incredible, to say the least. Is crazy. So now they're migrating back into China. Now consider the fact that the virus has a 15-day incubation period. So during that time, everything can, the shit can hit the fan because during that time it'll be 15, 16 days since this happened. Actually, I'm sorry, it's been like 7 days, so not even that. So they'll get they'll get home, or they're gonna start coming. Like I said, it's gonna be within a week or two. So that's roughly what 14, 15, 16, 17 something days, something like that. So they're going to be coming back, and there are people that already are probably infected that are going to be migrating back to China. I mean, like I said, not to spread like any fear, but man, this shit can get out of control. Because like I said, there are now reports of people having no signs and symptoms and no fever, and everybody's required to make wear these fucking masks or whatever, or like this doesn't even help. And they want us to wear like surgical masks, and that doesn't help because you have gaps, you know, in the mask. Not even this one, but like I gotta have the surgical mask here, but you have gaps, you have pores on your face. It's easy, for the virus, you know, I mean, this shit is microscopic. It can easily soak through your pores or whatever. And then also there are people or doctors in the hospital that are working in Wuhan that have been infected through the mucus in their eyes. So I mean, it's pretty much unavoidable. You got to wear a whole fucking hazmat suit, just to try to be relatively safe. But if you have a good immune system, then you should be okay, unless it starts mutating. I guess we won't know until it gets through your eyes. And is your big city all shut down too? Seems like China has ground so hot. I mean, pretty much yes. Okay, so okay, let me try to get to both of you. I mean, so what I was saying. Let me get to Brian real quick. Okay, so what I was saying, a lot of the people that have died from this virus already have prior health issues, and they're in the age of like 40, 45 and above. Okay, the first guy that died, I guess from the report, was 65 years old, and he had all kinds of problems. Okay, so if you have a good immune system, yeah, you can get through it. But if this thing starts mutating, oh my God, it says it's like 4 times stronger than the SARS. And with people looking through the strands, they can clearly see that it was manufactured in a laboratory. This is not, there's no way. Like I said, I know this is like some conspiracy shit now, but there's no way. Uh, like I said, this is just me from doing my own personal research and seeing what people are saying. There's no way this shit come from eating bats. I mean, I'm sure you'll get some shit from eating bats, but this is crazy. Okay, and is your big city all shut down too? Seems like China has ground to a halt. Yeah, man. I mean, it pretty much is. I mean, I can go out on my balcony right now, and I mean, of course, there's people walking around, but I live in one of the biggest residential areas in Guangzhou. Okay, so I mean, there's people walking around, but if we order food, like we have this thing called Waimai, it's I don't know what you guys have in the States. I haven't been back in the States in a long time, so Uber Eats or whatever, pretty much delivery. Okay, so they're not even allowed to come in our community. Like everything has been shut off, and fuck, man, I live in Guangdong, which is a whole different province from Hubei or where Wuhan is or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, it's closed down. Like, or maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I tried to go to the supermarket, and there was no eggs, nothing. Like Chinese people just, actually, let me stop saying Chinese people. Chinese people, foreigners, whatever. They pretty much raided the whole market, so there was no food. You just recently got something. The Spanish flu started out like nothing. Then when, yeah, exactly. I mean, look how easily something like this can affect the world. It's pretty crazy. Zero hedge today. Like, are people going out to bars and restaurants? Nah, man. I mean, if you're like completely outside of, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I got friends in Beijing, Shanghai. Um, Actually, I think those are kind of even closer to Hubei, where Wuhan is closer to them than I do. And of course, there are people going out. Like I stepped out. outside of the residential area yesterday because I wanted some food, man. I got tired of cooking. So I wanted to go eat something, and there was like maybe two, three restaurants that are open. But in general, like the local people here, they're terrified. You know, I mean, the guy that posted the video from Wuhan. Actually, let me see if I can find this link. I can send it to you guys. It's actually pretty fucking scary. Uh, but so he was talking about. But sorry to get back to you guys. So there's not a lot of people that are going out. I mean, like I said, there's a few here and there, but other than that, is nobody here. Oh man, I watched a lot of shit last night. But like I said, I mean, look at everything that's going on in the world right now. Is like everything all at once, and we're barely making it out of the first month in a new decade. It just makes me wonder. Like, I don't want it to, but what else is there to come? Oh man. Okay, this video got 2.6 million views.
Hello， 大家好。希望
Let me It's cool to talk with you. It's so hard to know what's really going on in China. I lived in Korea 7 years too, by the way. Is there police presence? Bro, there's police everywhere. Okay, here's the link to the guy. Okay. I mean, Korea was awesome. I think they're more. I don't know. From my point of view, like I speak Korean, okay, and I speak some Chinese also. Korean people, they're kind of, I don't know. They don't like to talk to you unless they know you. But Chinese people, they're more open. Everywhere I go, people, oh, hello, hello. In Korea, I don't remember people doing that. But man, there's actually a video of a foreign guy in Wuhan, and I don't know, he's saying that it's all cool. I mean, I guess some people can stay a little bit more calmer than others. Like I said, mostly the younger people, because there hasn't been any reports of younger folks dying. And to answer your question, yeah, man, the police are everywhere. Before some major stores or franchises close here, for example, like McDonald's or Starbucks, um, I walked in. It was maybe like 5-6 days ago. Okay, I walked into Starbucks, and it was like, "Yo, you can't come in here." And I was like, "Why?" They said, "You don't have a mask." And at that time, like, I guess it wasn't like too bad, whatever. It wasn't required, or I didn't know. So I walk in there, and they were like, "Oh, you can't come in here unless you have a mask." So I was like, "Shit!" Like, I don't have one. And also the store didn't have any either. It was all sold out. So the barista or whatever that was working there, she went to the back and she grabbed me a mask. But she was like, "Oh, before you order your coffee, you have to get your temperature taken." I mean, now that's irrelevant because, like I was saying, there are people that might have the virus that show no signs or symptoms and have no fever whatsoever. But of course, they didn't know. And also, I went to the supermarket and the police was there. They were taking everybody's temperature at the supermarket. So I don't know, man. Like I said, there is no proper way that was taught to the people from the Chinese officials how to deal with something like that, considering the fact that maybe they learned something when the SARS epidemic happened. Okay, the swine flu, like all this shit originated from China. Okay, it's because they have no proper ways of sanitizing and Like I said, like I don't want to talk about too bad about Chinese people. Like I know I have, but I do have some friends that are amazing here, you know. But there's no like things are very like unsanitary. Like I was saying, you know, before I don't know my broadcast, this live stream or whatever got interrupted or whatever. I was saying like you'll go to the wet markets here because it's a huge thing, and relatively the food here is it's good. Let's say it's good. The food is cheaper than if you would go to the supermarket. So that's where the general population of people go. They go to these wet markets, and they will butcher, you know, the animal there, and from everything, turtles and snakes, whatever, eels, just anything. Like, you know, especially in Guangdong, they have a saying the Guangdong people from Guangdong, they eat everything on land but cars. They eat everything from the ocean except for ships, and they eat everything in the sky except for planes and helicopters. And this is like a true saying. So especially the people from Guangdong, yeah, exactly, yeah. So especially the people from Guangdong, they will eat everything, and you can pretty much find all kinds of, you know, wild animals here at the market. But the thing is, there's no sanitation laws, and this is pretty much how the swine flu and SARS and all this shit started. And I mean, look how crazy it was. Like, for those of you guys who remember, you know, the whole SARS pandemic and the swine flu. I had a friend from Salt Lake City who actually got the fucking swine flu, and he was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, you know. And I swear to God, this is no joke, no lie. Okay, so you would think after all this shit originated from this country, the people would learn, but no, they just, you know, money. I mean, as bad as it sounds, money is God here in China. I mean, I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, well, it pretty much is in every other country," but here, man, it's fucking atrocious. How do you think the country is going to run in a week and everyone has to go back? That's the thing, man. That that's the big question. You know, like this is kind of what I'm afraid of because, like I said, there are people that are dying here. Um, so honestly, I don't know the answer to this question. Like I said, I can hypothesize and speculate, but I mean, even my boss here, they want us to go. It's the first now. They want us to go back to the office on the third. And I sent them a message. I was like, look, man, like I don't feel comfortable, you know, going back to work after everything, not after, but during everything that is going on right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, they just want people to resume work, and that's the scary thing is like, you know, all these kids they're coming back, and a lot of the times, like if you're working with kids, because I do work here in the education department. And I'm trying to start like a business with my friend as well in the meantime. But you know, working with kids, man, that's the scary part. Like, okay, in general, the Chinese kids they're kind of sheltered and they're healthy, but during this time of the year, you always get sick. You know, because the kids, man, they play around, they get dirty, and you know it's easy to transmit diseases, and their parents are so focused on their education they will actually send them to school while they're sick. And that's the man, that's the crazy thing. uh, are the hospitals filling up where you are? My sister is a nurse in Portland and is traveling to Cali and think it's nothing, but she was going, you know. uh, I mean, actually, I live in, like I said, I live in one of the biggest residential areas here in Guangzhou, and literally across the street, like I can walk out of my gate. It takes me about like 10 minutes to walk there, but it's one of the biggest hospitals in Guangzhou. It's called Clifford Hospital. Okay, so here is okay, but like I said, in Wuhan, like man, these doctors over there, man, these fucking poor doctors, like they can't even go home. they're forced to work double, triple shifts or whatever. Like, yeah, the Chinese government or whatever, they rented them out hotels supposedly, but I mean, you can clearly see videos of doctors just like sleeping there, and they're understaffed. The hospitals are, they're overpopulated. There's people like just in the middle of the floor. What the? Just, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to make this seem worse than it is, but it's bad, man. This is an epidemic, and it's now affecting not just China, where most of the problem is, but like, I mean, it's an international thing now. Uh, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't feel comfortable with actually going to work. I don't want to. And man, I had a friend of mine. Um, he's from Belarus. Him and his wife, like, maybe they lucked out. They just literally moved to Vietnam a day before all this happened, and like he was been trying to convince me to move to Vietnam, and I've been there before, like 30 days last year. I took a vacation with my ex, and I loved it over there, man. Like, they have, I mean, of course, the culture is kind of similar. And I'm not saying like all Asian people do the same thing, but they have the same type of markets and stuff like that, but it's more sanitized. The people actually, you can see people wash their hands, because they care, but with 2.4, 2.7 billion people in one of the biggest countries in the world, China, okay? Like I said, there's no like social structure and social order, because first of all, common sense does not exist here. And uh, as far as education, Chinese people, I think, in my point of view, a lot of them are just book smart. Okay. Surprise. My sister has some friends. Yeah, man, Vietnam is awesome. Like I said, I went there last year with my ex. Like, I was there for about 30 days. It was actually also during Chinese New Year's. During this time, we came back February 28th. So, yeah, um, 27 days from now last year. Vietnam was awesome, man. I went to Ho Chi Minh, whatever, Saigon, whatever you want to call it, Da Nang, Phu Quoc. Oh, man, it was amazing. The food, man, this time I'm stuck here. What a shame, right? But I do have some foreigners here. Foreigners here. I have some foreign friends here that are in Shenzhen, in Foshan, pretty much all over China. Okay, and I mean, they're just taking it a day at a time, because, like I said, you never know. You could be fine today, and prior to all this, having international attention, I mean, we very well could possibly have it as well and not know it. I mean, for example, like me, I am sick now. Actually, I wouldn't say sick, man. I have like some congestion problems, man, and shit's bothering me. And like, I've been checked and everything was all right, but man, this shit is it's the wrong time to also be sick while this whole shit is flying around. I heard China is getting hard on foreigners. Oh man, yeah, they're kicking people out left and right. But a lot of foreigners are causing this on themselves. You know, it hasn't been that long since China opened up, mm, to the rest of the world. It hasn't been that long, actually, if you really think about it. And a lot of foreigners that come here, they bring a lot of their baggage here with them. And for example, drugs. Okay, if you use this in China, like, even if I talk to my friends like on a personal level, okay, through WeChat, everything is monitored. Absolutely everything is monitored. So the Chinese authorities, like if they want, they can easily find you. You see what you're talking about? And a lot of foreigners think they're invincible. They come here, they sell drugs, and boom. And one bad apple in a bunch spoils it for a lot of us. As a factory in Shenzhen. So I mean, yeah, they're definitely cracking down on people. They're just, I think China now. I don't know. This is my, I guess this is my conspiracy. This is how I see it. Okay, China opened up their doors to Westerners to learn something from us, maybe to get educated, and maybe, and I don't mean like as in like books or whatever, but just to learn something maybe different or try to see things from outside the box. And when they get what they want from us, they will no longer need us unless we have something special to offer to them. Um, and the crazy thing is, a lot of Chinese people they hate foreigners. Okay, you come here, especially if you're white and pretty much like me. I mean, I know I look like shit right now, but pretty much if you're white, blonde hair, blue eyes, you have a lot of open doors here. I mean, you do gotta find them, but you have a lot of open doors here. You get paid 4 times more than an average Chinese person does because relatively their salary is quite low. Chinese girls, they like a lot of them. They like us and they're infatuated. I mean, maybe not as much now as before because people Westerners been thriving here for a long time and they just a lot of them they come here, fuck around, go back home. Okay, so well, what's the point I'm trying to make? So, oh yeah, like I was saying, so there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of doors for, especially like I said, the white folks, Europeans, whatever. I mean, you can come here, teach English, and barely can speak any English. They will hire you because this business is one of the biggest businesses in China, and there's no way they're willing to lose billions of dollars. They just kick everybody out. I mean, I have friends from Africa, Pakistan, India, uh, U.S., all over Europe. They're teaching English here, and they're making great money. I had a friend. I'm not gonna say his name. Just let's just call him E. He was teaching here for like 5 years. He's from Russia. He was teaching kids. He was teaching. He was working in the same place that I was. 5 years later, saved up all his money, and him and his wife moved to Bali. So here you can make money. The real estate or the cost of living is fairly cheap. It's just a lot of people, man, they're afraid to step out and try something new. But man, you can definitely make it work. I remember when I was thinking about coming here, a lot of my friends back in the States were like, "Oh man, don't come to China. They're gonna fucking eat you." I mean, really like some crazy like stereotypes. But I mean, if you have, if you have, the courage, I should say, to step out and try something new, man. There's some money to be made here. I make more money here now than I did when I was in the military, and that's crazy. Considering in the military, you get yeah, exactly. Considering in the military, we get paid twice a month, the first to the 15th. I don't know if it's still the same now, but yeah, make more money here than I did in my whole 4.5, 5 years of service in the U.S. Army, and that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, literally, my friends told me like, "Hey, don't come to China. Chinese people are, uncultured and racist, and I never like really believed that. But I mean, I'm kind of seeing this stuff now, man. It's like I said, like I don't want to generalize a whole, you know, a whole a country. Fuck, what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to generalize a whole country or Chinese people, but man, it's crazy. There's this guy named Serpenza. Okay, so he's pretty much like a big YouTuber. He's a foreigner. He started off also in Shenzhen. And there was another guy. His name was like Lawai, which means like foreigner or whatever. You guys can find them all on YouTube. And um, when they used to do videos, they were very pro China, and I guess maybe because they were somewhat new to China and they were seeing things, for the first time and experience. So they were very like pro and they praised it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but something flipped. Maybe they started to see the bigger picture. I mean, as because like I said, China is a face culture. So if you have to put in a face every day, pretty much the lifestyle that you live in is a lie, and it's acceptable to lie here. Um, I mean, and this is the whole argument I had with my ex girlfriend. She was Chinese, and she used to say, "Oh, I'm not traditional, blah blah blah. If I was traditional, I wouldn't date a foreigner." And come to find out, like I already knew, man. It's kind of like we just wasted each other time, or maybe we're lonely, or I don't know, some shit. But yeah, man, it's like it's crazy, man. Like it's okay to lie here, and that's what like I can't accept that. Like I can never lose my identity, and this is the problem that I have with this man right here. And I'm not trying to use my platform. Like I said, it's not even a platform. I don't have any subscribers, like two. Okay, so I'm not trying to like bash anybody publicly, but man, this like something just irks me. Okay, so I'll let you guys watch this real quick. I don't know if you can hear it, but look.
Hey guys, you all know that the virus in China that's going on from Wuhan is really serious. So I have to say, you guys need to be careful. Please, wash your hands, wear a mask. But today I want to talk to you guys about something else. You've no idea how shocked everyone is about how China is dealing with this virus. I mean, you don't understand. If this happened in another country, the virus would have spread globally, I mean, at a much, much, much faster rate. Why? Because they don't have the control the Chinese does in China to shut down an entire city. I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying
martial law.
It controls the virus from spreading. And China has the Lehigh capability to do this. I don't think there is another country on the planet that has the power to do this. I honestly don't think so. I really wish this never came again, and I wish we never had to block any cities or something. But I'm telling you guys, honestly, from my experience of living in China is going to fix this quick. China is going to fix this really, really fast. And I do have so much confidence in that. I am not worried at all like this is a virus that's going to, come, it's going to destroy everyone. It's not. This is controlled. This is going to be controlled by the government in China. Just lock down everything. Make sure it doesn't spread. Take care of their people. I'm honestly so proud of the way China's dealing with this. I'm very, very proud. And I believe no other country in the world would have this kind of power to do this. So let's hope this virus just disappears soon, and hopefully we can all get back to our normal lives, and hopefully I can just go back immediately. So love you guys. Please take care. China's a great country, and we're going to get through this. Bye, guys.
Okay, so I mean, like I said, there's like three people here right now. Okay, so I had to watch this multiple amount of times because I seen this circulating all over. Like I said, this guy he posted this on TikTok, or in China they call it Douyin, and it's going kind of viral. Okay, and let me get to the points that I'm trying to make first. Okay, so and it's pretty much what you guys just commented. Okay, and it's like I said, it's going viral, and he does have a pretty big fan base and an audience. And there's also another guy. Actually, I watched some videos about him yesterday. He started off as like some parody musician, like Weird Al Yankovic or whatever, and now he's in China singing Chinese propaganda songs. And of course, Chinese people, being very nationalistic and full of pride, they will endorse and promote this type of thing. Anything that will, make them shine and make them look good. Like I said, I can't emphasize enough about the whole face value thing. But so pretty much they make this guy, okay, they make this guy famous because he's for the Chinese people. He's praising the Chinese people, and Chinese people being, I would say, a little bit naive, especially when it comes to foreigners, man. That's the crazy shit, man, that I hate. Okay. So now they will endorse him and promote him. And like I said, the crazy thing is, man, this video was, it surfaced on my work group chat. And I swear to God, I told my coworkers, which I probably should never said. I said, this guy is always kissing ass. You see that? You see that? This is my WeChat work group. And I said, this guy is always kissing ass. And my boss was like, ha ha ha. Okay. Then it spread on another group because Chinese people are praising this guy because he's defending China and telling Chinese people how great they are, and how well they dealt with the whole situation and are dealing with the whole situation. Man, what the fuck? They quarantined the whole city, okay? Which makes sense. Okay, they quarantined the whole city, they locked it down. They're not giving their people any help. There are multiple amounts of videos online that shows doctors like completely exhausted, passed out in the hospital, complaining like, where the fuck is the support? Where is the support that we're supposed to get from the government officials? So how can he go and say this? Like, I mean, I'm not against anybody stating their opinion, but clearly this is not factual. To me, this is ass kissing at its finest. Okay, and that's going to bring more attention to his channel. But I mean, I think somebody has to say something. And like, I wouldn't usually do anything like this, but when your intuition is twitching and you feel like, as a foreigner, I mean, you guys just said it exactly. This is some bullshit. Like, really. I mean, his wife is Chinese. Oh, bro, this is what I want to say. What about the hospitals I see being built? This is the prime example of what I was saying about a doctor. Actually, this video is on my channel. You guys can check it out. I took a screenshot and I posted it. So it's pretty much, it also has subtitles. So it's a doctor that is saying like nobody's helping them. There's more than 100,000 people that are infected with this, not even, maybe even more. So now they're building this hospital that accommodates like 10,000, or I can't remember the number, like 100,000 people. So if you build in this hospital that accommodates this many people, okay, I can understand you're doing it for a what if scenario. But I mean, this shit is already all out. I'm not pro and not against technology, because I don't know how to really, I don't know how to state my feelings about it yet. But you see how fast information can travel, and The Chinese people that want information, because like I said, this the whole great firewall thing, and a lot of them they can't get information or search YouTube or Google, and I'm sure you guys already know. And I'm not saying everything on YouTube and Google is legitimate as well. There's a bunch of bullshit also, but the thing is oh fuck man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, definitely. Do you think the published numbers of infections and deaths are way up? Oh, I would say completely. Completely. I mean, like I said, on my channel right now, there's a voice recording from WeChat of a doctor saying that there are casualties or whatever, people infected, that's 100,000 or more, and the government is not doing anything, and they retreated to the island to discuss how to deal with this. I mean, like I'm saying, this shit doesn't add up, you know. Um, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like lying, being a liar is kind of acceptable here. Um, and they think it's fine. Like if you can lie to the people, but you as a organization or as a government can look good, it's okay. Your people can your people can suffer and look bad, but as long as the people that are on top is okay, it's all right. And man, that shit bothers me, man. Like I'm passionately like concerned about that, and that's not only China, that's the U.S. as well. You see the whole political bullshit that's going on. And I mean, like I said, there's too many things now in this month of January or whatever that are all intertwined. Like everything's like going on all at once, and people are fucking scratching their heads trying to figure out like what to do. And like I said, like the whole the whole impeachment thing and the death of Kobe and the whole Brexit thing, like the UK, like finally they're out of the European Union now. It's you know that's all over the news, and like I said, I was a big fan of Kobe. I love basketball, but man, and I'm sad for his family. He lost him and his daughter lost their wives, and what other like there's 8 people, 7 people in total that was in that helicopter crash. And I mean, things happen, people die, but fuck, man, we have an epidemic in this world going on right now, a viral outbreak, and like all the media shifted. Like, I mean, media to me is bullshit anyway. Like I said, majority of it, but it just like shifted the whole attention on the death of Kobe. I mean, literally, I go on YouTube and that's all I see. And now this whole viral thing or this whole virus thing is bullshit. Are speaking out more on social media about this, like negative on the government. Do you see that? They don't normally do this. And this is exactly also what I wanted to say. You know, Chinese people being like I've already said this hundred sounds very national. They're nationals. They have pride in the country, have pride in being Chinese. So it's almost unheard of when a Chinese person speaks out against their government. This is like the number one no-no. Losing face and speaking out against your government. That's the number one thing that you don't do here in China. But now there are people that are like, for example, the guy in the video, he was like, man, fuck this government. What the fuck are you guys doing on an island? Pretty much like segregated themselves from the general public, hiding on his island, trying to come with solutions. I mean, maybe they are, but like I said, now there's a lot of people that are a lot more people speaking out than usual. Uh, yeah, and that's like very strange because it does not happen on this country. Last time it happened is when, China did have Facebook or whatever, and there were people plotting a coup, or you know um, what do you call it, like demonstrations against the government, and boom, China was, without even thinking twice, they reacted to that and shut everything down. But the thing is, the folks here that want access to information, they will get access to information. I mean, it's easy. I mean, for example, I'm in China now. I'm on YouTube. I'm using VPN. So people who want access to information, they will get it. Maybe they will keep it to themselves because, like I said, Chinese people, they're afraid, man. They're very afraid. Be a tipping point for an uprising, or at least start warming that up, because the government was. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's almost like it's like brainwashing. Okay, let's say, I know this is maybe a bad example or whatever. Let's say I have no mental problems and I'm in the room full of retards, and the retards are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy, while I'm looking at the retards like they're crazy. So when you're brainwashed, you look at the rest. I don't know, like, I don't know exactly, how Chinese people perceive other or the rest of the world, but I'm sure they look at us like we're crazy. And then again, here I am, like, I'm looking at Chinese people are crazy because we're not raised on the same traditions or beliefs and values or whatever. They're raised like this. So I can understand that. But god damn, man, if your government is doing some shady shit like this, man, you should speak out. Like, even now, the crazy thing is, man, like, this could be monitored. This video can be monitored, and I can easily be fucking deported, or I don't know, go to some gulag. Uh, but I mean, Mao Zedong, okay, the person, I know you guys know Mao Zedong. He is the guy that founded the new China, okay. Um, and this is kind of like a touchy subject because, like I said, like, everything that's being posted about China right now is like heavily monitored. So I don't know, man, like, if I should be afraid or whatever. But so Mao Zedong founded China, okay, the new China, and people praise him. Uh, but he was one of the biggest tyrants that existed during his lifetime. He killed more people than Hitler and Stalin. Uh, Tens of millions of Chinese people died during famine for him to accomplish, for him to get to accomplish for what he did. And people don't know that because they don't look at, they don't research, and they don't see the numbers. They just believe whatever is fed to them through their education system, especially here, man. Like I said, I've taught in some schools here, and I had a friend who got fired. He was working in Beijing, and he got fired because he told his students, like, Hong Kong is not China, is not a part of China. Um, and like, I'm sorry, like, I found that to be humorous. I mean, they literally like fired him on the spot. So, um, I mean, I'm gathering my sources and my thoughts from like other videos that I've seen. But let's look at this. Let's take a look at this. Like, I've seen this video. I mean, it does make sense. Okay, so we have Taiwan, which is supposedly a part of China. Okay, whatever. And then we have China, mainland China. Now, I've been to Taiwan. If you go to Taiwan, the oh man, you can tell the difference as soon as you step off the plane. You go to Taiwan, people are more civilized. Um, pretty much everybody speaks English, and I'm not saying that, you know, if you're from China or Taiwan, you should speak English, but I mean, it's easier to communicate with people. Okay, it is, I would say, it's a little more westernized. But the thing is, Taiwan and mainland, like Taiwanese and the mainland Chinese people, they have the same religious um, point of views. Um, Pretty much like a lot of the things are the same. Okay, because I mean, before the whole civil war outbreak happened in China, where the Nationalist Party all left in Taiwan, and the Communist Party stayed in China, uh, or whatever. Like, so they are Chinese people, right? But they after the Civil War or whatever, they all, they migrated. The Nationalist Party members, they all migrated to Taiwan. And I'm just wondering, like, how is Taiwan more civilized, more educated? And I'm not just talking about books. I'm talking about fucking common sense, man. You cannot teach common sense, and that's the one thing that's lacking here. Uh, I thought what Snowden uncovered here in the States, I can't imagine what the Chinese. Oh man, I mean, there hasn't been anybody who blew a major whistle from China, not that I know of. Or maybe someone tried and they were silenced automatically. But this is the thing. This is the thing that I was talking about. Like, what was I saying? Like now, due to social media or whatever, information can travel much faster, and that's what I was saying when Li Yuan posted those tweets. Um, yeah, exactly. They're probably all dead, definitely. They still do the whole firing squad thing. And, there's actually been foreigners who brought drugs here who got the death penalty. So, you know, excuse me, let me blow my nose real quick. Fuck. But there's been foreigners that brought drugs into China, and the Chinese officials are trying to give them the death penalty, and that's pretty much like the firing squad. Boom, they shoot you, you're dead, and life goes on. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you look at Taiwan and you look at mainland China, they have pretty much the same views. Um, I wouldn't, no, sorry, not the same views, but they have like the same religious, like the fucking Taiwanese, the Chinese people. But I'm just wondering, how is it more civilized in Taiwan, but the mainland Chinese, or there really is like social chaos here. Um, and even like going to Hong Kong, you know, I would go to Hong Kong, and like you have queues, okay? You have the left side of the stairs and the right side of the stairs, you know. I would go to Hong Kong, and like you have queues, okay? You have the left side of the stairs and the right side of the stairs in Hong Kong. When you're going down, you go on the left. You're going up, you go on the right. But in China, man, there's like I said, there's really no social order. And a lot of people argue the fact that, okay, yeah, China has 2.7 billion or 2.4 billion people here. You can't possibly, you know, you can't possibly teach everybody everything. But man, come on, you have one of the oldest cultures, or one of the oldest cultures in the world with over 5,000 years, and economically you're prospering, but socially you're still fucking in the Stone Age. This is the crazy thing. Did you see the blind lawyer who escaped from prison and made it to the U.S. Embassy? What? Nah, man, I didn't see that. I gotta check that out. That's news to me. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, so pretty much like when the whole Civil War broke out in China and whatever, and the nationalists migrated to Taiwan, and the Communist Party like stayed in China. This is what I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah, they had a civil war because they didn't agree on particular things, but man, they were all from mainland. Hong Kongers, they're from mainland, and you can't even show Chinese people a Chinese map without Taiwan or Hong Kong on it because they get automatically offended. And when Britain, gave gave Hong Kong back to China, or whatever. They said after a certain amount of years, you know, you 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 should let them vote for their own, like pretty much like be a democracy, be free from the control of China. But China inserted politicians in that campaign, and the Hong Kong people were pretty much outraged because they don't want to elect somebody that China chose for them, because that's not a that's not the how do I say it? Because it's like they're still given no choice. China inserted somebody that is pro mainland China in the Hong Kong elections, and the Hong Kong people were like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like, so pretty much we have no choice. So, you know what I mean? And don't even talk about the Japanese. Man, I've been to Japan. Japan is like, I mean, they get dashed. Japanese people, they get hated by everybody. But I think it's out of pure jealousy. I mean, Chinese people are still mad because of the whole Nanjing massacre, where Japanese people came and they slaughtered and raped thousands of Chinese people. And the Koreans, when I was in Korea, the Koreans talk shit about the Japanese. It's like all the Asian people besides the Japanese are talking shit about the Japanese. But when I've been to Japan, Japan is one of the most civilized, one of the most clean. I mean, yeah, they have shit happening there, but I mean, you never really hear shit coming out of Japan. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe they're good at filtering stuff, but they have one of the best education systems in the world. It was a country with almost the least drug and crime use. I mean, I'm sure there's people smoke weed or whatever. I don't know if you look at that as a drug, but I mean, it's one of the most. I don't know if you guys agree, but like I said, I've been there, and it's one of the most cleanest, most civilized countries that I've ever been to. I mean, ridiculously clean. Um, and I think it's just like pure out of jealousy. Like, yeah, I mean, if you take a look at it, like, actually, there was a Canadian guy, and it's his fault. He was fucking a bigot and a complete racist, and he says he was happy that the whole Nanjing massacre happened. And eventually, my friends tracked his ass down, and he got deported back to Canada, and then he was on the Canadian news, uh, spreading some bullshit. Okay, saying some bullshit that they treated him uncivilized and blah blah blah. But he can't play the victim, because when I first moved to China, this guy was like all over Facebook constantly talking shit about China, and then 5 6 years later they finally got his ass. He was just one of those like bitter, um, one of those bitter people, or maybe he just seen China for what it was, but he didn't want it to go back. I don't know. The whole story, but I remember like everybody was literally looking for his ass. Damn, my phone died. But everybody was looking for his ass, and they finally found him, beat his ass, and then deported him. And these are my friends, my Chinese friends who did that, and I can command that, because you have no right, to just get on a social media platform and just talk shit because you hate your life here. It's pretty much like what you make it here, man. Like I said, I don't want to bash the people. Like I said, I have Chinese friends, and I love my Chinese friends, man. They're really down to earth. But then again, maybe we get along so easily because they were educated outside of China. Um, I don't know. That's most of them. I do have some that never left here, and we still get along. So I don't know. But to get back to Japan, um, yeah, man, I don't know. It's amazing there, and it's crazy. A lot of people, when you talk about racism, they automatically point fingers at U.S. And to a certain extent, I can understand because, like I said, I was adopted, and I moved to U.S. when I was 10. And where I went to school, it was predominantly, it was black folks. Okay, and me being a white guy, I mean, I didn't think much of it at the same time, but I thought like, hey man, maybe the white folks would help me out. And I didn't think that at that time, because I was a kid and I was young, naive. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't speak any English whatsoever. So I go to school as a young kid, and I was only accepted by the black folks and the Hispanics and etc. Pretty much like the minority of the country. Okay, and white kids looked at me like, "Yo, who the fuck is this guy? He's white, but he don't speak any English. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him?" So that's when I first seen like racism, or I don't know what you call it, reverse racism, where like you just hate on your own race. I mean, it's crazy. But I never experienced racism to the extent when I started living in, I shouldn't say Asia, but until I started living in Korea and specifically in China. Now, I swear to you guys, I'm not even lying. My friend, his name is Michael, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay. Where is he? He's a black guy. Okay, and he's a really good, really really good kid. I shouldn't say kid. He's a really good guy. So, and okay, bear with me because I'm gonna read this. This is coming. There are there's this platform in China called Weibo. Okay, and like I said, it's pretty much maybe like Twitter or Facebook. You can post some comments and whatever, and there are pages that are dedicated to killing foreigners, being racist against foreigners, just, I mean, a whole wide spectrum of hatred. Okay. And they're dedicated, but the Chinese government, they won't take them down. So I'm reading this here. Okay. Shit. Sorry, my phone is almost dead. Okay. So this was written, and this is what I'm saying. I never witnessed the amount of racism uh, anywhere in the world, even US, until I moved to China, and how some Chinese folks really feel about foreigners being here. So it says, "Hello, my dear little nigger. I agree your point, but key point is towards human being." I don't know what the content of this conversation is. It says, "Hello, my dear little nigger. I agree your point, but key point is towards human being. You think you nigger are type of human? No, you're wrong. You're not. Your nigger gene is not totally human, but more close to gorilla, which mean violence, stupid, lying, lazy. Look at your nigger land, Africa. You nigger never built 2 floors building before white men came. No school, no government, no hospital. Only kill, rob, steal, rape each other. Even you nigger in civilization countries, supposed to be civilized country, you nigger contribute to the top one of crimes, killer, rapist, thief, robber in any non-nigger country." I mean, this is crazy. And like I said, there are posts on Chinese social media. Like I said, you can watch other famous foreign YouTubers. Um, that are coming out of China, okay? And he talk about the same thing. It's pretty much no filter, but when a foreigner does it, oh my God, man, the Chinese people are so quick to prosecute them and, cause a fucking scene. It's I mean, it's literally, it's crazy. But there are actual pages and groups on WeChat or whatever that are dedicated for hatred towards the foreigners. And like I said, I know US has its problems with racism, and like I understand that. But, you know, living in both countries, like I've been now living overseas longer than I have been in US. I never experienced racism to the point of that I experienced it than living in Korea and in China. I mean, this shit is, I mean, it's unequivocal, you know. I mean, yeah, we have problems. We have our own problems in America, you know, especially now with the whole fucking Trump thing. And I mean, I'm not even gonna get into that, you know. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm looking at this, like I can read some Chinese and I can speak some Chinese, but there are literally Chinese people blaming black people for um, different sicknesses, which is completely false, because a lot of the stuff, like I said, swine flu, SARS, now this coronavirus, it all originated where? In China. So, like I said, it's due to the lack of proper sanitation or whatever you choose to believe in. Because for the people who are joining us, let me just reiterate some things. There was a level 4 biolab that opened up in Wuhan prior this whole coronavirus outbreak. And for those of you guys who don't know what a level 4 biolab is, it's pretty much like a laboratory that deals with some of the world's most dangerous pathogens. I mean, literally shit that can just kill you and tear your insides apart or whatever. And like I said, I'm not trying to spread fear. Okay. So that happened. Okay. There was a lab that was open that deals with these deadly pathogens. And a day before, actually, let me not get ahead of myself, maybe a day or 1 to 3 days before this outbreak happened, there were 8 doctors who who were arrested, or they got detained for spreading rumors about the whole coronavirus outbreak, spreading rumors, and then a day later this whole shit happened. Okay, so that happened. Exactly, yeah. So that happened. And then also the day before, the Wuhan, whatever, the government officials or whatever, they hosted a potluck dinner for 40,000 families in Wuhan. And like I said, for those people who are joining now, I mean, you can use your own brain and speculate as to what could happen. And I'm sorry for you guys that have been here. I know this is like reiterating, but so there had to be people that were already infected that didn't know it because of the 15-day incubation period, or maybe even longer. Fuck, we don't know. And having a fever and a cough or whatever, it's kind of irrelevant, because they're already saying that you don't have to show signs and symptoms of, reportedly what the signs and symptoms of the virus are. Okay. So, I mean, think about it. 40,000 people in Wuhan, the city where this whole thing outbroke, all joined together and we're having this potluck dinner. And I've seen this like seafood. And like I said, there's lots of videos online. And look at this. I just got another update about the coronavirus. Updates of the new coronavirus pneumonia. Okay, so this is the latest update I just got. I literally just got this on my phone. Okay, and I guess this is coming from the Chinese officials or whatever, and I still think it's bullshit. But they're saying there's 11,000, almost 12,000 confirmed cases, 259 deaths, and 243 people recovered. Now, Hubei, the province, confirmed 7,153 cases, recovered 166 people, and the death toll climbed to 249 people. Xinjiang, Guangdong, Hunan, Henan, Anhui. So it's pretty much like showing you the numbers of. Sorry, dedicated to making. Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much showing you the numbers. I don't know how people can count. Like I actually, that's kind of what I wonder about. How do people go on about gathering this information? Um, I don't know. Okay, and then other countries, Thailand has 19 confirmed cases, recovered 5 people, 0 deaths. So pretty much all the international countries, oh sorry, all the countries other than China have no deaths. Thailand, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia. It says French. What the fuck is French? France, United States, South Korea, Germany, Canada, Vietnam, Nepal, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, UAE, and Finland have no death whatsoever. So all the other countries other than China have no deaths. So yeah, man, guys, girls, whoever is currently here, I see we have 4 people. So yeah, I mean, it's insane. And like I said, people like they don't really know what to do here. You know, they're not getting a lot of support. Everything is still kind of in the dark right now. Oh shit. So yeah, but I mean, if you guys have any questions, or anything you want to say, you can go ahead. And I know I've been talking, fuck, man, for an hour and almost 25 minutes now. Actually, longer, maybe 2 hours, because I did a stream prior to this and it kind of like froze up on me. Because, the internet here is fucking trash. But, like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to say, feel free. Um, I'm willing to try to answer things to my best potential. Other than that, maybe I will cut this off right now and grab something to eat, and then I would jump back on maybe like in an hour, hour and a half. But other than that, I mean, this is, like I said, these are my opinions and, you know, the things that I kind of found for myself and, my point of view from being here for over 5 years. Like I said, the first 3 years or so, like I didn't give a shit, man. I just met some friends, went out, partied, a typical young guy who's single in a foreign country, you just lose your mind. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I wish it wasn't like that because so many people you know, are forced to suffer. I mean, if it's something that happened naturally, then I mean, I can understand it to a certain extent. But as far as you know, the Chinese government not learning from SARS and swine flu how to deal with something like this. I mean, you've seen the video of this white guy talking about, oh, China's gonna handle this, you know, super fast, and they know what they're doing. Man, this, like I said, there's people that are saying they don't know what they do. Shit, they have no guidelines, or they have nothing to follow as to what to do. They're They're not being given any options. Like I said, they're saying there's people that are dying in hospitals, and the government is like keeping its mouth closed. So somebody along the line fucked up somewhere. But oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. And the thing is now the Chinese government wants to blame everything on the mayor of Wuhan and saying that he's irresponsible for not being able to deal with this quicker than they supposedly expected, which contradicts everything this foreigner just said on this video about Chinese uh, people handling this or being able to handle this quickly, because the own Chinese government is blaming the mayor of Wuhan for not being able to handle this more quickly. So, I mean, they just incriminated themselves, and now this guy is just looks stupid. You know, I mean, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I know I'm putting a bunch of things together, but I mean, it can only make sense, right? I mean, it can only make sense. And like I said, like they don't want anybody to talk about them like this, but man, some people should say something. You know, like I said, especially like the link that I gave to you guys about this guy. Actually, I don't know the credibility of this video. There's so many people in the comment sections talking shit. Um, you know what I mean? But I mean, I felt like it was genuine. You know, you just go. Um, I mean, sounds like the mayor is not on the bandwagon. I mean, the thing is, man. I mean, think about it. I don't know how long he has been a mayor or whatever, but think about it. Like, if something to this extent happens in your city, in your state, or whatever you're from, I think maybe 80%, maybe even more. I don't know. This is just like this is, like I said, this is purely my opinion. I think in general, people will not know how to deal with it because it surfaced out of nowhere, and there's really no type of precaution, you know, because it's before something like this happened is just like there's not even a what if scenario. And you know, um, what I wanted to say, for example, um, when I was stationed in South Korea, okay, I was close to the DMZ. I was over there in like Dongducheon, and then like after I got out and became a civilian, I stayed in Seoul. But I mean, it pretty much told us it was like, hey, if North Korea decides to fire their artillery at Seoul or wherever we were stationed, I mean, we couldn't do. There's nothing that we could really do because first of all our shit when I was stationed in Korea, it was fucking broken down and secondhand, and shit was always falling apart. I mean, I'm just speaking the truth now. So we were very well unprepared to what would happen if the ceasefire or whatever, the treaty or whatever, just stopped, and North Korea was like, "Oh fuck you guys, we want to bomb you tonight." There's nothing we could do. I mean, and that's kind of how I see is like some parallel with that and this whole viral outbreak happening. Um, it's like I think people were kind of unprepared. But the thing is, this is what I'm saying. Like now they trying to blame this. A lot of people are trying to blame this on the mayor of Wuhan and saying that he didn't handle the situation the way that it's supposed to be handled. And there's an article that's saying that the mayor of Wuhan quoted saying that he would step down as mayor of Wuhan if he has to. But the thing is what I'm saying, the motherfuckers on the upper echelon, of things, they didn't respond in time because I could imagine as a mayor of Wuhan, how do you deal with something that just comes out of nowhere? Like, for example, if tomorrow fucking, let's say this viral outbreak didn't happen and somebody fucking bombed fucking Wuhan, I mean, okay, maybe that's okay. Of course, you probably would go to war and retaliate or whatever, but your first thought would be like, well, fuck, what do I do? It hasn't even been a full week. 23rd, supposedly, this actually, I think it has, 23rd. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So it's been a week. So I mean, this man probably didn't even have time to think, but they want to blame him because they don't want to lose their face. Man, this shit is sick, bro. How people, the one percenters at the top work, just look at people like us as peasants and they will scrape anything off of us so they can continue to thrive and make all these fucking bullshit rules and policies. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing because I mean, I think a world of anarchy would be even worse. I mean, so I think there should be some guidelines or some social structure for you know for people to coexist. If not, it would be a fucking a barbaric state. And I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe we'll just fucking around and kill each other off until I don't know. Maybe it's just how is that's how it's supposed to happen. But so yeah, man, let me just wrap this up. And fuck, man, I said I was gonna stop. Like 10 minutes later, I'm still over here ranting. Silent wars and pointing fingers is the policy. Silent wars and pointing fingers is the policy. Yeah, man, exactly. It just that's man, that's the shit that just makes me mad, man. Especially when your own people like just desert you. Um, that's fucking sad, man. And just a case point, the disregard for human life, especially in China, man, it's crazy. Like literally, people would just stand here and film you dying than to help. And I mean, I understand because no, actually, I shouldn't say I understand. Like, I try to understand, but the thing is, man, Chinese people they think like this. For example, if somebody is being hurt or is out there bleeding on the street, dying, if they go and help them, but they make the situation worse for trying to help, then the family of that person would try to sue them so they don't get involved. They just rather record shit on their phone and post it on social media so people can laugh at it. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can ask majority of foreigners who live here, like sometimes people are like, man, what the fuck are you doing here then? And that's a question that's kind of, I don't know, I have to think about answering. I mean, to a certain extent, I like it. I do. I learned a lot about myself here, which is a great thing. But I don't know, man. It's like this cold-blooded. The society is almost cold-blooded. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab some food. You guys take care. I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but I'm probably gonna hop back on and yeah, man. Just I don't know. I'm gonna put this on my. I'm just gonna leave this on my YouTube. So I mean, I'm not here for likes or anything like that. I'm just trying to, you know, uh, state my opinions and how I feel about it, everything. And of course, there are people that are going to agree and people who are going to disagree. I mean, I completely understand that. I become a rational person, but I just try to look at this. But but yeah, you guys, man, just take care. Um, I don't know how much worse this shit is going to get. Um, I mean, there's also people that are telling folks not to take the antivirus because the antivirus is pretty much it's a low dose of the virus. So your body is like slowly will build an immunity to it. And before I sign off, this is the last thing I want to say. Like really, when I was in the military, we were always forced to take all these immunizations, the anti-flu and everything. And soldiers in the military were constantly getting sick. I mean, there were motherfuckers going to sick call. This is what we call it. When you go to the hospital when you're fucked up and you have a flu or a cold, go to sick call, and it was crazy. Um, uh, I mean, fuck. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the symptoms, man, because I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel like I'm kind of feeling like shitty, man. I'm congested and my nose is all stopped up. And fuck, man. I mean, it's not too cold here in Guangzhou, but anyway. So uh, when I was in the military, we were forced to take this all these immunizations, and people were just getting sick left and right. And ever since I left the military until now, this is pretty ironic. It's crazy. Until now, I left in 2014. It's 2020 now, so 6 years later, I haven't really got sick at all until now. Like I'm still cool, but I can feel like my head and shit is really like congested, and my nose is fucked up, and I don't know what to do. I want this shit to go away because you can feel the pressure. But anyway, so what I'm saying, after I stopped taking all these immunizations and flu shots and all that stuff, I didn't haven't got sick for about 6 years. And like that's the honest truth. Haven't really got sick at all. And now I guess they're going to develop. I don't. I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't know how exactly they got rid of SARS. Actually, I really don't know. Maybe there was some immunization or whatever. But I definitely won't be the person who be taking that shit. Um, yeah, fuck that. Imagine millions of people taking that and then getting even worse. That's fucking dreadful. Anyway, you guys take care of yourself. I'll be on a little bit later, and I mean, I hope I'm not asking too much. I just want to like show the people, another perspective, and maybe say some things some people will not like because sometimes it needs to be said. So if you guys have the time, just feel free to share this. And if not, it's okay. I mean, like I said, I'm just only trying to spread awareness. Anyway, take care, be safe, and hopefully we'll catch up sometime soon. So just keep the gun ready in case you turn into a zombie. Yeah, in a country that bears arms, that have no arms. What about posting a video? I mean, if you guys just want to, because I think like this is actually my first time streaming on YouTube, or um, within the week I just started messing around with it. But I think after you like end this stream, it lets you keep the video as one of your videos that you did on YouTube. I don't know. But anyway, I'm about to end this right now. Take care.